As a continuation to the previous exercises on sum, max, min, average, I'll be talking about sum product formula, its application and how is it used. Let's say I have certain quantity of products purchased, so 100 lots purchased at a price of $1,200 per lot, 500 lots purchased at $1,000 per lot, and so on. Now quite often we would want to calculate the weighted average price per lot. What we end up doing is writing the entire details this way: 100 lots, each of them priced at $1,200 or rupees, enter. Now that gives me the price paid for the first purchase, and we also drag the formula down, which we then add up using the formula shortcut key alt equal to. So as you can see, C4 to C7, the one that is blinking, let me press enter. That's the total of price paid for the entire set of purchases, which again I am going to add up to see how many lots I have totally purchased. So 970 lots. Now to calculate the weighted average price per lot, we write one final formula. That's the total price paid divided by total lots purchased. Now at some point in time I would want to simplify this entire procedure to calculate and arrive at 1185.57, the weighted average price. Now to do that, let me illustrate the application of formula sum product. Let me delete this formula, and let me just quickly remember this is 1.15 million. Let me delete that as well. Now without calculating the intermittent values, I use sum product to calculate the total price paid. How? Once I write sum product, now how did I quickly write this sum product? For those who missed the previous session, you can simply type in equal to SUMP, the first 3-4 letters of any formula, and once this drop down comes in, which shows me sum product selected, let me press the tab key. So there you go, sum product. Now the parameters suggest array1, array2, array3, ... That means array is referring to a set of data. In simple terms, a set of data. This could be a part of the range like this, or maybe like this, or like this. But as of now, my motive is to calculate the total price that I have paid. So array1, comma, array2 chosen. Now what it does is it picks up the first value of both these arrays, multiplies them. 500 multiplied by 1000, 250 multiplied to 1400, and so on. And whatever the total that comes up, it gives you that in one single formula. So 1.15 million. That is something that we got a minute back. So let me show this formula quickly once again. Equal to sum product, using the tab key to finish this off. Array1 could also be this, not a problem, but what is to be kept in mind is that you must choose it consistently. Choosing one array with 4 cells is not the same as choosing another with 3. That is inconsistent. Even one extra would not be the right case. So let me make it consistent. Probably this first, array1, comma, array2. No more arrays to count for, so closing the brackets, enter. Now this is just the total price that I have paid. How do I get the weighted average price? Let me complete this formula. Let me double click on this cell. At the end of the formula, let me divide it by sum of the lots that I have received. So in simple sense, it would mean total price I have paid divided by total objects, total lots that I have received, and that will give me the weighted average price per lot. Now 1186, it is rounded off. So if I go to home tab, the button which allows me to increase the decimal presentation, so in case you're just accounting for in one decimal, this would look appropriate. So there goes, the formula is also present in the solution cell. Give it a try. Very often used in weighted average price calculation. If you're talking about equities, you may have bought different shares at different prices, or may have used same shares for buying and different prices on different days. You could be using this in manufacturing data, especially if you are working with raw material pricing, target costing, and so on. So this was SUMPRODUCT. Let me move on to the next sheet, sheet 4. Alright, in this particular worksheet, I want to discuss one quick operator that is used for to the power sign. So if you have something like this, which is quite often used in compounding finance, 5 into 5 into 5 into 5, rather than writing that in this manner, which is very, very tedious, as we can see, I will be taking the help of this to the power sign. Where is this? If you notice on your digit 6 of the keyboard, if you press shift 6, that will give you to the power sign. Let me show you. Equal to 5, shift 6 to the power 4. So all those finance professionals out there, you might be using this very often in discounted cash flow, compounding, annuity calculation, etc. 625. Now apart from this operator, there's another formula which does exactly the same. The formula is power. It asks for the number, which in this case is 5, and to what power do you want to multiply it? I would want to multiply it to the power 4. As the hint suggests, power 4. Closing the brackets, enter. Same answer. So whichever feels comfortable, use that. That's power or to the power sign for you. Now at times you may want to pause the video and practice it on the work files. After you have got comfortable with the formulas, you may proceed to the next one. So I'm proceeding with the next sheet, sheet 5, where I'll be discussing the formula round and one surprise formula as well. You'll see in some time. Okay, now the first data cell that displays 54.6344, I want to make it 55. Now quite often I have seen a lot of professionals that they go to home and they do use this decrease decimal to make it 55. Now it looks 55, but internally it is still 54.6344. If you double click, you'll find out. Plus the formula also shows you the same value. Now what is the implication? The implication is if you are trying to multiply 1000 or any such number with the cell containing 55, it doesn't actually multiply with 55. It multiplies with the original number. So case in point, if you want just the presentation to be changed, you may want to use these two buttons, increase or decrease decimal. But in case you really want to make it to round 55 so that the answer comes out to be 55,000, then I'll be using a formula called round. Let's see how it works. Equal to ROU. So the first selection among the drop down is round. Let me use the tab key. Alright. Now let me closely observe the formula parameters. 1, number. The next, num digits. Now logically I must first inform Excel that this is the number I want to round off. So number, this is the number I want to round off. Putting a comma thereafter. Automatically the hints jump to num digits. Now it's asking me to what extent I want to round off num digits. I want 0 decimals, I want 1 decimal, 2 decimal, that I need to specify in Excel's language. And let me ask myself a question. How many decimals I want? I want 0 decimals, 0. Closing the brackets, enter. So 55. Now if your question was asking for 1 decimal, 54.6, that is it. Then let me get inside the formula and type in 1 decimal, 54.6. So again, depending on the question, you may use 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Especially in Forex calculation, you may want to use 4 as decimals. Having discussed the basics of round formula, let me take it to a new level. So for example, I have a question which needs to be answered. The question is, please round up the number to the nearest 10. Now you would come across these issues very often, especially in payroll department. So let's say 20,000 employees, after TDS, after the tax deducted at source, whatever the final salary comes out to be, they must be paid into nearest 10 rupees or nearest $10. Now my objective is to make this number as 440. nearest 10, not 445, which is the nearest whole number. So how do I make that happen? Let's see. So equal to ROU, round. As per the hint, let me choose the number, comma. Now 0 will make me give this number as 0 decimals, 445. 1 decimal, in this case, since it's very close to 0.99, it will round it off to 445, but I want to make it nearest 10, so -1 is what Excel will ask for. Why -1? Nearest 10 has 1 0, hence -1. Now if the question was something like this, nearest 100, -2 would have been more appropriate. So equal to round, choose the number, and -2, closing the brackets. You'll notice the last 2 digits being 0. Similarly, in case you are reporting numbers in nearest thousands, then now round, choose the number, comma, -3. So 0, -1, -2, -3, 1, 2, all the applications within round. But especially if you come across this problem, the one that is blinking on my screen, nearest 50 or maybe nearest 25, how do I deal with that? Now, a formula exists by default in 2007 and in the analysis tool pack of 2003 called MROUND. What MROUND does is, it will round off to the nearest multiple as you specify. So number, just like round formula. Now this case, it doesn't ask about num digits, it asks about the multiple itself. So let me put in 50, closing the brackets. So that's nearest 50. In fact, you could have also suggested that I could have probably put in 100, which would have meant nearest 100, or maybe nearest 25. Give it a try, use different combinations, and I'm sure you'll find this formula MROUND very useful. Quite often used in tax computation and financial modeling, apart from the payroll computations. So these couple of formulas, we'll discuss couple of more in the next continued session of some formula. See you there.